Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode on JCraft. This is episode 15, and in the last episode, I decided to plant a bunch of trees at Jay's base, and I don't think he really wants to deal with it, so I'm gonna do the right thing, and I'm gonna fix this. I made quite a mess of this, and I destroyed his pretty good terrain he had here, so I want to fix this real quick. I want to fix this tree. There was a tree that's back to the left there that might have been messed up, so I don't think he's going to chop this down anytime soon. So I'm going to do it. Well, I've basically fixed everything but the grass here. I rebuilt the tree, everything. I'm actually really sad. The trees that grew here actually destroyed the leaves and updated most of the logs in here, so I couldn't tell what was what. And he's got a lot of logs, actually, like all over the place in this tree. So that was actually the easiest thing to do. Chopping the trees took a couple of hours, and I don't think I'll ever do that again. That was I actually feel really bad about that. I think he spent a lot of time on the terrain, and I didn't really consider how he might take this. I thought it was funny, but I mean, this is the amount of wood I had to chop down by hand. It basically went halfway through a diamond axe, so it was. I don't think it was as funny as I was intending it to be. But now that I've got wood, I can actually use this for the storage system that I'm making anyway. So that's fine. But sorry, Jay. I might have went overboard on this one. So I've spent some time crafting up emeralds, and I'm sick of it. So I've ripped out the crafter, and I have an idea on what I can do. There are a lot of emeralds in here, and there's some emeralds right there. There are a lot of emeralds in this, and I think I've got a good idea on how to fix this. So we are finishing up some small touches for this, but we want to be able to make sure we can store up a lot more emeralds. So it takes about 36 hours to accumulate 3 bars of this, which is 2 double chests of emeralds, which is very, very quick. So I want to make it a little bit easier for the player to get rid of the emeralds at this, and I plan to use this exact idea for the gold farm and for the slime farm, so that we can actually AFK craft items. So the idea here is that once this gets filled, you would stop AFKing, you would come over here, check your light system, make sure if it's good or bad, and if it's past a certain point, you would jump down to here, and we have this entire monster down here. This is over 500,000 items are going to get spit into a water stream, and each slice is 72,000 items, so 7 times 8 is like 56. Like, it's ridiculous amounts of items. I think I've calculated this to be about 576,000 items an hour. So what's going to happen is as soon as you unlock this, which in the AFK crafting area, I don't know if he's okay or not. In the crafting system right here, we have a lever. If we unpower this lever, it's going to unpower this and start the crafting system. Now, due to the amount of hoppers here, once this thing starts, you're going to be here for a while. So that is the entire idea. So we've doubled our storage for the emeralds, so we can now AFK for 3 days in a row if we don't die. And we can now craft up all these emeralds at 2.5 times the rate of the farm, just about. And I think that this is a great idea for this. This would help with nuggets. This would help with the slime farm, which is 500,000 items. So this would just barely keep up with the slime farm. This will take 5 hours to make this work at the gold farm and phantoms. Hello. So I'm going to start to actually set the crafting up for this. Let me get rid of these guys real quick. Okay, so to actually craft this, we'd actually come down here, and we have to change our keybinds for our crafting method. So in the item scroller menu, we would want to search craft. In the second craft in mass crafting, which is the throw out the results of the currently selected recipe, we want to set this to right click, which that's my right click. And you would stand here, you'd open this up, you'd make sure you have the right recipe selected, which is right here. And you just hold right click. So these emeralds right here. Did I not do it right? I might not have done that right. Hang on. Oh, these are named. Okay, that would make sense. So, yeah, okay, so since those are crafted and those are filters, it would just throw them out into the water stream. And then if there are too many items coming through here, you know, maybe there's a burst of items coming through here, the blocks and items you craft would actually spit around. So there are 2 4x loaders on the other side of this. So that should keep up with everything we're crafting here. It's an insane amount of items, and it should make this so much easier for us to handle crafting all these items to where we can AFK both parts of this and not have to manually craft this. The only downside is it is actually faster to manually craft, but it's not very entertaining. So that is the entire reason that this is being made. So I hope that this is a great accomplishment. And it was some really low-hanging fruit when we went to make this. This is the exact same thing we've used for the bone meal suspension for the fungus farm, which is amazing because I thought, and I saw this, and I'm like, you know what, we could put this into a dropper, and then we could expand it, and everything just panned out perfectly with this. So we now have over 500,000 items able to be crafted per hour while AFK. Alright, so Jay is AFKing the crafting right now, and this is what the system looks like and sounds like while you're down here. So, the flow of items. That's how many items are flying out of this thing. Beautiful. So all these items are going to collect over here and go up the tube to the player. And then the player is, as I previously shown, you're holding the crafting keybind and you're just throwing the items out into the stream. So you're able to just craft up everything you're doing, and it'll typically run 6 lights to 7 on the 4x loaders over here. So it's pretty much fully loading, and I don't know what the rates of this are. 72,000 items an hour would be what this could hold. So we're hitting 7/8 of that pretty constantly. Significantly constantly. So it is going to produce, what, 65,000 blocks of emerald an hour, which is, I don't even know how many shulker boxes that is. But we do know the math, so 3 lights will go out per hour. So if we AFK this, we should be able to AFK that new emerald farm for an entire 72 hours, and then craft for 12, which brings a lot of complications and a lot of painful crafting to a minimum. So now, if I want to AFK the gold farm for a week, I can. And then I just craft all the nuggets into ingots and the ingots into blocks. I'll have to set up something a little different for the actual ingots, and I'll have to probably set up 2 of these crafters for that. I haven't completely figured that out yet, but we have a major problem. These 10 boxes actually ended up in my inventory during the time Jay was recording his part of this, and we don't know why it's happening. And I am clueless because we're locking the hopper, we're doing everything we're supposed to do right, and I want to say that somewhere along in this it is randomly breaking the boxes at the wrong angle, and the boxes are actually hitting the comparator and falling down, and then they obviously would end up in the system. And I have no solution to this right now. I do not know how to fix this, and I don't know what we're going to do about this, because when the boxes come through, they come through in 1s and 2s and 3s. They will eventually fill your inventory, and I have no solution for this right now. So while the system does work, it is semi-AFK right now to make sure that you do not overfill on boxes. It does seem to only happen about 25% of the time and at random. So you can AFK for an hour or so and you should be okay, which an hour is still 6 double chests of emerald blocks, or emeralds being turned into blocks. 6 double chests would turn into about 2 double chests. So during the time I've been crafting, and the time Jay has been crafting, our output chest is right here. This is what we're able to do now. Again, this is not as fast as manually crafting, but it is nice not to have to craft this ourselves anymore. We're gonna have to set up a new section for section for this. We're gonna need to move that box away from there and put it over to maybe next to the player or up here somewhere. I might actually want to put it like right up here and put 4 double chests right here. And then that way we can actually handle by actually being able to grab the boxes, float to the top. I might even just bring it straight up to the top right next to the portal. I'll have to talk to Jay about where we can put it, but I want to make it as convenient as possible for the player to grab the crafted items out and then just send them, take them to spawn, or do whatever they wish with. The phantoms are so annoying. Go away. Just go away. Burn. Burn. Go away. Nobody likes you. You're annoying. Thank you. Your death makes me happy. So we've already gone through 3 lights of this. And Jay has also doubled this again. This is dropping everything we had here down. And eventually we'll have a light go through here. This system is so fast. We're able to go through... each slice is able to go through like 4 rows of boxes an hour. 36 boxes per slice an hour is ridiculously insane. But that's just how fast this thing is. This can be scaled as far as you would want to take it, just as long as you had the items to actually manage. And only 2 boxes are held per slice. So you've got the one that's actually being unloaded right there, and then you've got one that would be in this hopper with the redstone block. And then the rest of them are just going to circle around for the rest of their time until an open slot is available for them. So when this system's running, there's just a lot of boxes being held in here, but you'll only be AFK for 15 minutes before you're done crafting. But, man, just look how nice this is. We don't have to spend our time boringly crafting our items anymore. We're able to just stand here and just get rid of everything. It's beautiful. It really is. Ow! Go away! Nobody likes you. Nobody. Not even me. Go away. Solution to the current issue with the shulker boxes coming back into your inventory, however... This is really loud. However, I'm not certain that it's a permanent solution. There are now 2 hopper minecarts here. You can't see that, but I had to work around this and get 2 minecarts put into there, which was a bit of a challenge, but now these are now full of emeralds, which should in turn prevent boxes from ever landing in them until it's got the buffer set up. So the only time we would get boxes is when these aren't full of items, which is when you turn the system on initially, but it will not fill your inventory up so much that you can no longer craft. So I will take that as for what it is, and this is now complete. This functionally works at over 500,000 items an hour and will allow us to lower our emerald cost, or our emerald stock, which is now another 2 lights down. These things have become a real problem lately. There you go, goodbye. So now we're able to AFK this a lot better. I'm going to AFK this overnight. Hopefully we should be able to get rid of all these emeralds. I'm so happy to be able to do that, because now we can actually stock up redstone. We don't need to craft up all these emeralds, but why not, you know? We have so many emeralds, we might as well store them and have a lifetime supply. So Jay and I have spent a significant amount of time updating a farm from Nicolier. This is a 192,000 item an hour farm, but we've made some significant modifications to it. I believe that Nicolier actually abandoned this project after making it functional, because this was developed in 20W18A, and back then you could actually supply the farm with bone meal without needing another source. Due to the way the fungus and crops actually composted, you could actually supply enough bone meal by supplying bone meal to here, and then giving it, you know, like its Kickstarter. It would then produce enough bone meal to supply itself and the tree farm, and I really wish it did, because we are using 40 shulker boxes of bone meal an hour with this farm, and it's kind of expensive. Now, it's been overnight. I actually had a clip for this earlier, but I want to make it because now we've got both sides of this farm. And we AFK'd the Wither Skeleton farm. I brought over, I want to say like 9 boxes of bone blocks. I don't know who had them sitting in the farm, so I brought all of that over after I crafted it. And I think Jay AFK'd for overnight as well, so we've got a lot of bone meal now. But this farm is actually really awesome because it produces over 100,000 logs an hour, and we can choose if we want the red or the blue. Usually his farm just had the one side. We can't run both sides of this. That's not possible. We can only run one side, but that's okay because we only need one side to run during the entire time we're using this because the way the TNT actually drops, which Jay is fixing up right now, we can't actually AFK both sides of this. So we can only pick one side, which means that if we want, we can have the red or we can have the blue. So instead of trying to make a Nylium swapper, they tend to actually break the inside of the. There's actually a Nylium regrower in here. So right here, there's actually these observers which would detect if the Nylium gets turned into netherrack. It would actually turn it back, but by using the swapper, we'd actually have to wait for this to die. So we'd have to plant red fungus until it turned blue, but we only had the one dropper right here, which made that kind of inconsistent and kind of pointless because we'd have to then use all the fungus that's back up through all of this with our shulker unloader. So we decided just to make two sides of this, and I think it looks even cooler than it did before, so that's awesome. And there's a few things we wanted to make with this. So Nicolier's farm was basically built for composting. It didn't really matter if you got too many fungus given to you because you were making your bone meal back. So Nicolier's farm would actually drop fungus at your feet, and eventually you'd have a pile of the floor that would eventually despawn. But because you were getting all your bone meal back, it didn't matter if you were wasting it. But now that we're not getting bone meal back, we had to redesign that as well. So Jay has redesigned the dropper system right here on an observer two-tick repeater, and I don't know really much else about that. He's going to go into much more detail on this than I will. We've also got this quality of life that Jay wanted, where it'll actually request the fungus from the farm. So when this didn't have a shulker box in it, it'll actually turn this farm on, saving our bone meal. So we don't just run these farms before we AFK this. They get ran for like 10 to 15 minutes an hour to keep up with the production of this farm. So I think we're using about 8,000 fungus an hour, and this is producing 32,000 to 40,000 actual fungus an hour. So we're able to keep up with this pretty substantially, and we have both sides of this so that both can run at the same time if we need them to. Now, there are a lot of hoppers, so the first time you actually hook this up and turn the farm on, it's actually going to take a while and multiple boxes before it's actually stocked, but once it is, it fills this dropper really fast, and I think you can AFK this for quite a while before they'll actually have any items on the ground, if any, depending on randomization of the growth of these trees. So we're really happy with this. I actually like the way we did this, but there are huge composting sites here. These things are just ridiculously huge. That's how many composters it actually takes to handle the items that come through this. And while this side might be overkill, I really do think that it's necessary just to make sure we're keeping up with everything, that we don't want to miss anything. So we also have to sort out the glow shrooms. Oh, I say it every time. The shroom lights need to be. We need to actually sort out the shroom lights because otherwise they'll actually fill up the composters and we'll lose out on the bone meal return. And we won't get as much bone meal back from this. On this side, we're getting about 66% bone meal return, which is substantially nice. Oh no. um, So we've spent some time actually updating this farm, and we've changed a lot of the behind redstone because a lot of this was really incorporated on free bone meal. So we kept all of the original bits, all the pistons, all the target blocks, all of that, because it works pretty well by itself, but we wanted to change all of the stuff behind it. So, like, there's a lot of other things. There's stuff down here that got changed. There's the composting sites that got changed. And we have to have four 4x loaders to keep up with this farm. It is that fast. It is that ridiculous of a farm that if we start getting a lot of tall trees in a row, we actually can't technically keep up with this because the tall trees give out 26 stems each, and each TNT blast can destroy up to 6 to 8 rows of blocks. So we could see a lot of logs go down there, and it would probably fill up the entire thing. So I want to thank Nicolier for actually making this farm. We had a lot of fun building it. And by fun, I mean it was really, really hard to actually build this. It was very grueling. We've spent about 13 hours on this, I think. Some of that being with Jay building by himself. He built both of these fungus farms by himself. I helped build most of this part yesterday, and I helped swing off these arms here. So we're doing a lot, but it's taken 13 hours, and this is not that many blocks. It's just how intricate the farm actually is. So I'm actually really happy with this. I can't wait to start using this. It's going to produce a lot of the stems. So, oh yeah, that death would miss at the replay. Yeah, we're really happy with this. I'm actually really excited to see this, and I actually can't wait to start farming these logs because it's going to be a lot more efficient than the one I have in base. But I think I might keep the one in base and try to revamp it a little bit. I might even get rid of it completely. I don't know because it is a really tiny farm, and now I don't need it. All right, so I've gotten this part of the storage system done. This is about most of what I want to get done with the storage system for right now. I want to get most of my general items sorted, and then all of my, high quantity items over here sorted out as well. So stone, the rocks, grass, dirt, sand, cobble, all the simple stuff that you typically see in the terrain, as well as all the different types of wood, ice, honey, slime, compacted resources, bartering trades, redstone, and then, like basalt and sea lanterns. So this side is going to do stuff a little bit differently. This is actually going to be like the I've got a lot of this, but I don't bring it here often type deal. So, kelp and dried kelp, scaffolding, gunpowder, stuff like that, where I want to have a bunch of it on hand, but I'm not going to bring it by very often so that I can have what most people would say a lifetime supply. I want to keep a lot of the same thing stocked. So there's 3 double chests here, as well as I randomly kill creepers and ghasts from time to time. So, I might pick up a few pieces and just dropping it in the system is pretty convenient. However, there's some of the items like stone, which I would bring back from a dig, but maybe I mixed it with a couple of my boxes. Well, I want to process those boxes, and then I'm thinking below here, I'm going to actually have a loader, which I haven't completely designed that yet, where I can actually load all my boxes of mixed items that would then get thrown back into this. So, on top of that, this is just a single sorter from Jay. This is a shulker box loader from Ilmango on top of a sorter. And I don't know what's going on here. This is just a single shulker box loader here, and this is just going to help us sort out most of the items that we would see. So I have to do a lot of bulk unsorting for my storage system, which I don't really want to talk about this. This was a really more of an experiment than it is a functional storage system. I like it at first, but it really became quite cumbersome to use this design, and I actually kind of just gave up completely on using this. I just got tired of requesting minecarts and getting my stuff from them. It just ended up being quite a hassle, and I don't think I'm actually really happy with this design. It's a great concept, but functionally, I didn't automate all of the things that I should have, like automatically loading boxes, pulling minecarts out to automatically sort them. I could have really done that, and that would have been amazing. But with this is just meant to be a beginning sorter where I could just throw everything into it and not deal with it and deal with it later, which now that later has come, I will be able to start throwing stuff in here tonight, I think. I have to create a basic overflow, figure out what items I want in these sorters. And then once I figure that out, I'll be able to throw some basic boxes in here to process, and that would be about it. I'm going to have to create a large storage system over here that I will repackage the boxes, as well as I want to get a lot of the like stackables out immediately because they can potentially pose a problem when you're loading boxes again. So I've got to get those out before I can do anything. So yeah, this is going to be the beginning of the storage system. I do plan to update this and upgrade this as I need it. So right now, I think this is all I'm going to need. I still don't have a whole lot of the storage system figured out yet. I've got all the bits and pieces in creative, but wiring this up has been a little bit of a challenge, so I'm going to take a pause on this again. I know it's the second episode I've been working on this, but I really want to take the moment away from this to see if I can get a little bit more creative with some of the stuff I want to create. But man, these chests are disgusting. I like the texture and all, but in bulk quantity, green is just a nasty color. So, since Karma's joined the server, he's not really been up to any good. He spawned a wither in his base, and both Jay and I had to help him kill it.
He knocked me out of his tree and killed me.
And he spawned a raid in my base, so this year I think Karm is on the naughty list. So Jay and I have spent a lot of time making the tree farm, and we actually AFK'd the wither skeleton farm enough that we actually made 3 boxes of coal blocks. And what better way to give somebody a bunch of coal than in a stocking full of coal? Ah, there's nothing like a beautiful sunrise and presents by your bed. I think Karm left this, and I have no idea what this is. This is solid. Alright. Nothing like a giant chunk of terracotta. Ooh, I can't see in here. There we go, much better. The trading hall guy. You probably have most of the resources you need, but I still wanted to give you something. The trading hall guy. Heart. I can actually take that. I probably will need that for something. That's nice. Thank you, Karm. Trading hall guy. Oh, this free terracotta, though. You gotta love that terracotta. Don't get mad, they said. I'll show him. I'll show them all. Get even, they said. I'll teach him a lesson. He wants to shoot a missile at my base. Well, how about 4? This'll teach him. With the flawless execution of my revenge and everything else that's been accomplished in this episode, I want to thank you guys very much for watching. It has been a very great episode. I can't stop looking at this. This is amazing. Look at the pure destruction those missiles have. Ah, beautiful. I'll see you guys later.